Former President Jacob Zuma stepped down just over a year shy of completing his term of office. His resignation follows mounting pressure from internal structures of his own party, the ruling ANC. Calls had also been mounting from various quarters, including civil society and opposition parties, for Zuma to go. Zuma, however, maintains the ANC's decision to recall him is unfair, as he has done nothing wrong.
I have therefore come to the decision to resign as President of the Republic with immediate effect. Even though I disagree with the decision of the leadership of my organization, I have always been a disciplined member of the ANC. I understand fully that while I serve at the pleasure of my party, the ANC, the door through which I officially came to serve the people of South Africa is the National Assembly, without which no political party can impose its candidate on the electorate.
The announcement came despite his initial refusal to resign, even in the face of a no-confidence vote supported by his own party. The party had threatened that it would vote him out in a vote of no confidence in Parliament later on Thursday if he does not resign.
I fear no motion of no confidence or impeachment, for they are the lawful mechanisms for the people of this beautiful country to remove their president. I've served the people of South Africa to the best of my ability. I am forever grateful that they trusted me with their highest office in the land. But when I accepted the deployment, I understood and undertook to subject myself to the supreme law of the land, the Constitution.
Zuma ascended to the South African presidency after the 2009 general elections. He was meant to stay on until the 2019 general election. Zuma says he does not fear exiting the political office. He emphasized that he only asked his party to articulate transgressions and the reasons for its instruction that he vacate office. Zuma's resignation brings to an end a presidential tenure that was marred by corruption allegations, scandals, and controversy. He's consistently denied all those allegations. The ANC welcomed Zuma's decision to go. The party says it provides certainty to the people of South Africa at a time when economic and social challenges to the country require an urgent and resolute response. According to the South African Constitution, Deputy President Cyril Ramaphosa now acts as president until Parliament convenes to elect a new president. Yolisa, Njamela, CGTN, Pretoria, South Africa.
Well, to discuss this further, we have Yolisa and Njamela live in Johannesburg for us. Yolisa, it was quite a turnaround by Zuma after his defiance earlier on Wednesday. What prompted this change of heart and his subsequent resignation?
Well, you know, earlier on Wednesday, when he was speaking to the public broadcaster, many people viewed him exactly as that, defiant. But if one listened to that whole 55-minute interview, which he did with the SABC, it would seem he was at pains to, which I did, by the way, listen, it would seem he was at pains to explain to everyone that, in fact, he's not defiant. He just disagrees with how his comrades in the ANC ANC are doing this, how they are managing his recall. He was also emphasizing the fact that he has in fact done nothing wrong and they haven't told him what he has done. And this is a man who's been in and out of courts because of corruption allegations for the better part of his years that he spent as the president of this country. But he maintains that no court of law has in fact found him guilty. So even last Sunday, when some of the members of the National Executive Committee of the ANC drove to his house in the middle of the night to give him a message that his party has in fact decided to recall him from the presidency, he says he asked them, what have I done wrong? He says all they could tell him is that the country is anxious. The country wants a change in governance. However, he is not defiant. I spoke to the journalist, the colleague who was doing that interview, the public broadcaster, and he was telling me that in fact he seemed like a man who had resigned to his fate, because many of his children were at his home yesterday on Wednesday afternoon, early in the day, before of course he would address the nation later on, and they were about to have lunch. And when he, the reporter, spoke to President, because he's a presidential correspondent, when he spoke to the president and thanked him for all these years, he said his demeanor was giving a clear message that he is in fact going. But he wanted to tell his side of the story because he felt that his comrades are basically victimizing him, and as he has done nothing wrong and they're not doing everything in the order that they should be doing it in.
And Yolisa, he raised the issue of perks and a severance package, but what happens to the many pending cases that Zuma is still facing that you touched upon just then?
You know, during Zuma's presidency, a whole number of civil organizations propped up, they were formed, and mainly because of his transgressions or the corruption and fraud allegations, many organizations wanting to take him to court, in fact, have taken him to court. Other organizations, like political parties, have also propped up during the past few years as a direct result of what they were accusing Zuma of having done wrong in this country. Chief among those organizations is the EFF, which is now the third largest political party in the country. Many of them are on the sidelines, literally waiting to take on Zuma and basically ensure that he answers for all those transgressions. The second largest party, political party in the country, the Democratic Alliance, have already said or told us of its intentions to take Zuma to court. So what we understand, or at least seem to understand, would be that it would seem Zuma is going to spend the rest of his retirement years going in and out of court, or perhaps being incarcerated.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. That was CGTN's Yolisa and Njamela there live in Johannesburg.